Hey, what's up, y'all? In this video, I'm going to show you our native Zoom integration that allows you to send automated SMS reminders for your meetings, your recurring meetings, your webinars, recurring webinars, all that kind of stuff. And the cool thing is that if you implement this, you'll basically instantly get about a 50 to 100% boost in your show up rate just by tweaking this small thing, okay? So here's the problem is that actually getting people to show up to your webinars or your Zoom meetings or whatever, it's actually getting harder every year. And if they don't show up, they can't buy. So we need to get people showing up. If you look at Zoom, their reminders are pretty weak. They're email only, and they'll only do like a 1 day and a 1 hour email. And they basically skip the most important one, which is the we're starting now. That reminds people to jump on right when you're going live. And even if they do get the email, oftentimes it just gets buried in the sea of emails, right? And so people ghost and your attendance stays low. And every no-show that you have is wasted time and money. The last thing is that Zoom, they don't have any native SMS reminders, which would be like the number one way to get people's attention. And there's no way to really do this in Zoom. But the question is, what if you actually could? So that's what I'm going to show you today. With our native Zoom integration, you're able to do this. So it's very simple. You'll just be able to connect your Zoom account, just a couple clicks, and then you can auto-create confirmation. So right when they sign up, they'll get a confirmation, and then you can customize any kind of reminders that you want. So a day out, an hour out, 5 minutes out, we're going live now. Whatever you want to do, you can customize those reminders so people get it right when you go live. People are going to get a text and they're actually going to show up. And what we found is that it actually boosts show up rates 50 to 100% on average, basically instantly just by implementing this, right? The cool thing is that you can make it automated and customized for every event. So you can have templates. So if you're running the same events over and over, it can have it all automated and already set up for you. And so I'm just going to hop into Roezan and show you exactly how it works. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to come into Roezan and we'll go to integrations down here. You'll see there's a Zoom option right here. So we can just click on details for that. And then it'll ask you to connect your Zoom account. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. Then you can just log in with your Zoom account. Then you can allow the native Roezan app here. All right, great. So we're in here and we're connected. You can see that I got my Zoom account all integrated here. And we got a bunch of different options. There's a few things that you can do in here. You can basically decide what types of events you want to sync. You can set up templates and you can even enable everything automatically if you want to. So I'm just going to walk you through what you'd want to do. The first thing, I'm going to set up an event inside of Zoom. So I'm going to just come over here to meetings and then hit schedule a meeting. Now, obviously you can do this for webinars as well, but I'm just going to demonstrate a meeting today. So I'm going to give it a name, and then I'm going to come down here, and for this registration right here, I'm going to make that required. So the way it's going to work is that you need to have registration on. We'll go to Zoom, we'll pull the registrations directly from there. So that's why I turn on registration. You can go ahead and make sure it's at the right time and date, whatever you want. Let's put it sometime next week. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now this next part is really important. We must make sure that the phone numbers get into Zoom because can't send a text without a phone number. After you enable the registration, come over to this registration right here, and then we're going to go to edit under options, and then we're going to go to questions, and then we're going to go to phone number, and I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to enable the phone field. I like to leave it not required because if you make it required, you probably get a bunch of fake phone numbers, so I just put it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and we're good there. So now I'm going to hop over to Roezan, and I'm going to enable some options there. Okay, so we have all the different types of Zoom events that we support over here on the left-hand side. The one that we just did was a scheduled meeting, so I'm going to work with that right now. There's a few different options you can use right here. So the first one is that there's a reminder template. All right, so this is what a default template looks like. So we have here, we got a registration message, and that's basically a message that goes out as soon as somebody registers, and you can edit that however you like. So you can see here, we're actually pulling in some information from Zoom. We're pulling in like their first name. We're going to pull in the event name. We're going to pull in the event start date, start time, and importantly, we're even going to pull in their unique join link. This is really important because if you use their unique join link instead of just the general link, it'll actually make it so that when they click it, it'll go immediately into the room so they don't have to do anything or re-register. So it's super helpful for increasing your show up rate. The other thing that's cool about this is we're actually going to auto shorten it for you so you don't have a really huge Zoom link. So it's pretty nice. But anyway, this is a confirmation message. And then we have by default a few different reminders set up down here. So you get the 1 day before, and then we got the 1 hour before and the 5 minutes before. So you can edit these however you like. You can create more, create less, whatever you want to do. But this is a template that we can use. So I'm going to hop back into this event and I'm going to set this as a template. So let me get here back in Zoom, and we got schedule meeting. So I'm going to set this as Zoom meeting reminders. And now every time a new event is created in Zoom, it's going to use that as the template. The other options that we have over here, we got sync events into Roezan. So this will do what it says. Basically, when you turn this on, it's going to start syncing any future events into Roezan. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And then we have another option over here, which is enable reminders automatically. What that means is essentially what it says again, which is reminders are going to be enabled every time an event is created. If you had this off, basically you would sync the events, but it just would leave the reminders off so you could edit them manually. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. So that's cool. And just because I'm getting started here, I'm going to go ahead and hit sync events. Now you won't have to hit sync events every time. It's going to do it anyway, but just because I'm getting started, I went ahead and it's going to just fetch all the existing Zoom meetings. Okay, so I went in here and synced everything. So I just came down to my little events table here and I selected Zoom. So you can see here that I got the pizza party that we created in Zoom. It is all scheduled. Reminders are turned on. I don't have any registrants, but I'm going to show you how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and register myself. Let's grab this registration link. All right, I went ahead and filled out my information. I'm going to hit register. Great. And so basically, in just a few moments, if I reload this page, you'll see that we got our first registrant here. And I can click on that little guy right there, and I can see that I registered. So that just came in automatically. If I wanted to edit the reminders for this event specifically, I could always come here in this events table, hit this edit button, and then I'll be able to edit the reminders for this event specifically. So I come here, I could change the registration information. I can come here, change the reminders. I could also even preview them. So for example, I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to this preview and test. And then you can see here, you can select one of the registrants and you can see exactly what it's going to look like. You can test the link if you want. You can even send yourself a little preview here. And the same thing works on these reminder messages down here. So I can click this, hit preview and test, and you can see exactly what the actual user is going to use. So one last thing, just to kind of wrap up here, I have this all set up now so that any future events that come in, if I'm doing more scheduled meetings, these are automatically going to start syncing into Roezan. We're automatically going to create the event, create all the reminders that we had based on this template. So you can basically automate the entire thing. This doesn't just do meetings, it does recurring meetings, it does webinars, all kinds of different stuff. So it's extremely customizable to whatever you want to do. If you implement this, you're going to get a way higher show up rate. So if you have any questions on this, just let us know. And if you need a Roezan account, we'd love to help you out with SMS. All right, cheers.